Issue 227. We start out in a remote village in Hilltop Zone. Oh good, we're finally revisiting that place. Where some civilians are running from someone and scream at getting threatened to be put into badniks by a robot trooper. Is this a Nightmare 2 or taking place when Eggman was still in power? I just can't call him Robotnik consistently. In the next evening, Sonic and Tails are called by a policeman about another trooper attacking. Sonic doubts what he's saying because there hasn't been any trooper since Eggman was opposed. Why would he think he would lie to him? The policeman tells Sonic that in Tower Village they're still ruled by Eggman. Sonic says that he's supposed to be in an asylum, and another civilian says that they never actually see him. Then an old lady screams about how someone she's always accused of being a witch is to blame, with her daughter telling her to calm down. Sonic, being genre savvy, plans to give the woman who's being accused a visit. After all, her name does have the last name Witch Brew. A civilian seems to agree with the idea that she's a witch, and another one disbelieves him about an earlier claim from him that Big and Chaos were cited. I guess people are doubting she's a witch because she doesn't really use magic in front of people. It's still a fantasy series. Tails warns Sonic that if she is a witch they should be careful, and Sonic calls him a pixel brain, teasing him about being scared. They go into a house that Tails briefly assumes is empty, only for them to be greeted by a woman who immediately reminded me of Fang. She says she's Agatha Witchbrew's granddaughter, who was staying here for the school holidays when she disappeared. Why was Sonic so annoyed that she might be the witch? Tails wonders if her disappearance is connected to the troopers in the village. Violet then reveals herself to be a villain, as foreshadowed by her ominously being at dark lighting and dark clothes. She uses a spell to make ropes appear to tie up Sonic and Tails, and we see Commander Brutus show up out of nowhere since he was destroyed earlier. Maybe she summoned him back with magic because she's an Eggman fanboy. I still have to question why anyone would genuinely support Eggman's way of ruling. Brutus attacks the witch, and Sonic escapes from the ropes with his sonic speed vibrating, with us not seeing it being burned away by friction to actually make it make sense, and he runs away dragging Tails and Violet behind him. Violet said she doesn't know how to break the spell as she was just playing around, and the story ends with all of their enemies from Eggman's rule at once coming to challenge them. I guess her idea of playing around was creating these guys to be playthings in an imaginary scenario in the first place, but that was very reckless for her. And Sonic calls Tails Pixel Brain one more time, showing confidence in his ability to win. In the next story, Amy runs away from the Johnny Infiltrator, gets her crossbow from her room, and gets run into by the fake Johnny, who reveals in a weird voice that he's the creature who feeds off her nightmares, which is more creative than him being an infiltrator robot. She hits him, and she jumps into a warp ring that conveniently shows up and doesn't look like the Ring of Eternity at all. She appears in a forest and drops on a rock as she wonders what he meant by her own nightmare. Is she in a nightmare right now? That would explain the warp ring. Since Amy knows she's in her own dream, she creates a sword for herself, or maybe she had all along, but it doesn't look like it, and she shoots lasers that go straight through him. For no reason though, it starts to fade away because its power only works when she's scared. Why is she suddenly now not scared, when it just proved itself to be invincible? The story ends with the nightmare creature saying he'll return someday. That victory felt way too easy. He even says that she was just hiding her fear through bravado and jokes. In this issue, by Ed Reynolds, the first story has Sonic and Tails go to a village where people think Eggman's rule never ended. And it turns out that it's because a witch girl was summoning Eggman's forces, like Commander Brutus. At first she summons ropes for Sonic and Tails and accuses them of ruining her plan. But then she gets attacked by Brutus and says she was just playing around earlier. I don't really get how Sonic could have logically escaped from the ropes. I love the concept of this. It's refreshing to see a magical witch who's an Eggman supporter. Or is she just playing? I really don't get this. I guess this is going to lead up into an awesome epic fight where Sonic defeats all the villains. And the second story has the fake Johnny be revealed to be a nightmare creature who fades away temporarily because she's not acting afraid, even though she has every reason to be since he's invincible. That victory felt too easy. That wasn't satisfying at all.